Attention!
Welcome to the Film Mages Podcast, where the popcorn is our ammunition, the couch is our foxhole, and the cinema is our place of worship.
Now let me see your war face.
Happy Football Sunday.
Happy Football Sunday.
Happy
It's
Football
Football
Sunday.
I deny that.
We're recording on Football Sunday.
Football Sunday.
And
Where I believe it's the Houston Astro projectionists versus the Philadelphia Hepburns
sure.
for the big
well,
Super Bowl.
yeah, it is a Philadelphia team
Is it?
in the
It
game
is,
today.
yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
how appropriate.
Here we go.
I actually did know that because I have a fucking coworker who's from Philadelphia.
You have a
so
coworker? You have
I-
a job?
No,
You're a dick.
Oh no, I didn't know. I thought you had a job.
No,
oh.
I'm talking about the coworker that I talked about many times when I did have this job last
Oh,
year.
okay.
Well, hello everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to the Film Majors. I'm Zach.
I'm Alexis.
I'm Mick, and who's this?
We've got a special guest today.
Well, howdy, I'm Simon.
Hi, Simon.
Hello, Simon.
You might know Simon from his hit podcast, The Toss Up, which we featured on last year.
Hell yeah, it's everywhere. We just got our 8th billboard in Los Angeles, so I'm sure you've heard of us.
Ayo.
Wow.
Popping off. Now,
That's-
Simon,
That's fantastic. Congratulations.
I've got a question for you, Simon.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, there it
Yeah.
is. That's great. I
There
enjoyed
it
that.
is.
Yeah.
It didn't feel forced.
I
like that.
I'm gonna
Smooth
be
as
honest.
ever.
I had a dream about recording this episode and getting to do what's going on. I'm not even.
So
joking.
you manifested this.
Yeah, I did. No, I've been missing out on that
Yeah.
for the last several episodes, and it's been sticking in my craw a little. So
Gross.
That was seamless.
yes,
I love
Simon. So
Love Raw.
what's going on for you? What's going on in your life? You watching any movies with your lovely fiance? What's going on?
Yeah, of
Fiancé.
course. Yeah, as you mentioned, been engaged since September, so definitely,
Congratulations.
definitely
That's great,
on a,
man.
Yeah, on a romance grind that we're, excited
great way
to
of
get
saying
into
that.
today. Yeah,
You're on a romance grind. It's kind of hard.
I'm actually. Lately, I've just been binging stand-up for whatever reason. Marin's new special dropped last night. I watched that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's right. I heard good things about that.
From
That's
Bleak
awesome.
to
I've been wanting
Dark.
to watch it.
It's great. It's
Is it?
dark. It's really
Okay.
dark.
Do you
but
listen to his
Is it-
podcast? You listen to the What the Fuck podcast with Mark Maron?
Naturally, it's a classic, man. Yeah. it was-
Okay, yeah, me too. Okay, we got another Maron fan.
He
Cool.
just had that episode with Brendan Fraser that fucked
Oh,
me
that
up.
was a great episode.
It was great.
Yeah,
Wow.
Love that
really
guy.
good. I love how we're plugging Mark Maron's podcast in the show.
Why
Look
are
at
you
this.
listening
why are
to
we-
this? Go listen
Yeah,
to what.
well,
the
yeah,
Why
fuck-
are
guys,
we deferring
tune
credit
away from this
outside of
show.
room? Absolutely not. But yeah, Simon. So you've what was that? What's his new special called? Is it From Bleak to Dark?
Indeed, yes, and for
That's
good
funny.
reason.
Yeah, that tracks.
That
for
sounds fun.
What I know of Mark Maron.
Yeah, I also just got Mubi, which was great.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, Danny.
Mubi, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Mubi?
I work
Okay.
for
Is that also sponsored
a
by Mubi?
YouTube essayist, and he just got his first movie sponsor, so they gave it to him for free, and now I'm on his account. So, been
Oh,
watching a lot
nice.
of like Sundance shorts on there, which has been great.
Oh, cool.
Highly recommend Starfuckers if anyone gets the chance to watch that.
Oh, I actually, sorry, I can't even see it from right here. But I actually saw part of that at a short film festival here in LA.
Amazing.
And I got to meet the guy who directed and starred in it.
No way.
Yeah, he's actually in a different movie called Alex Strangelove, and that's what I knew him from.
Really,
So
I
got to,
auditioned for
go-
that movie.
Did you?
I did, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, no, he's in that movie too. Great little, I wouldn't say it's like a great little queer story, but
Hell yeah.
there's only so much we have, so.
Exactly. That's great. Yeah, I really
yeah, he
enjoyed
was really
it.
nice.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
So what were you watching on movies, Simon?
Yeah, I
was
watched Starfuckers. I watched Decision to Leave, which I also caught in theaters. I'm writing about it right now, and I just really wanted to dig into the insane editing of that movie,
Yeah.
which is great. And yeah, I don't know. I've never watched a Fellini film, so I'm hoping to go on like a Fellini bender sometime soon.
Oh, nice. I
because
still
there's
have
quite
to
a
watch
few
8
in
and a
the movie.
half.
Yeah,
Yeah.
could be
Yeah,
fun.
I don't think I've seen any Fellini either. I feel like a bad film major.
I've
Yeah.
seen what's that other famous one he did? 8.5, and then there's the...
No, that's Godard.
No, that's Godard. La Dolce Vita, I think it's called. Something like that.
That sounds right.
Yeah, I saw that on 35mm film in downtown LA. Really good.
Nice.
Wow.
You know, not great gender politics, but what do you expect? It's an Italian film from the 50s.
Yeah.
But still, classic.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
other
speaking-
film majors,
yes,
what else have we seen?
Speaking of not great gender politics, I watched a little movie called Death Spa this week.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you, it's about a death spa. It's about a spa where people go to die.
Yeah.
And it was all right.
As in a spa, like an actual building, a business that gets haunted.
Yeah, no,
Like it's a
the
business
spa
that gets haunted.
itself is killing people.
Yeah.
No, it's all right. It's got some fun moments. I like when someone got steamed to death. That was pretty good.
Which also happens in My Bloody Valentine. You missed that kill.
Yeah,
I finally watched My Bloody Valentine, that
The
2009
2009
3D film starring Jensen Ackles. Have you seen
saw
that?
that in theaters.
I bet you did. What did you think of it?
I don't remember.
You
I
know,
remember the opening, and that's about it. Did I go see it for Jensen Ackles? Probably not. I don't think I was into Supernatural yet at that
Yeah.
point. So
that's why I turned it on. I was like, oh, the title, the poster, and Jensen Ackles is the star.
yeah, I
gotta watch
remember it. I mean, I wasn't. I think in high school I would have said that I was more of a horror person than I am now. So I think I thought it was pretty trash.
It is.
But I don't like. I'm so shocked that I don't remember anything about this movie. I wonder if I walked out.
No, you should rewatch it. As I put it, it's the $2 Jack in the Box taco of movies, where I know it's nasty, but I kind of like it.
Very nice.
It's pretty
I
fun.
do like the whole mining axe.
The
thing.
pickaxe is great.
Yeah, I love a good pickaxe.
Yeah.
So
As I told
this is
Zach,
the minor one. I definitely remember seeing
It
this
is.
at Blockbuster and being terrified by the cover.
Yeah, the poster. That's why I checked it out. I was like, I should finally watch this.
Yeah.
And I really do feel like the filmmakers were like, how many different creative ways can we make pickaxe murders? And I think that's a good place to start from. For them, again, if it's called My Bloody Valentine, it needs to be bloody, and it absolutely was. Like I said, there's some parts of the film where people are discussing their thoughts and feelings and the plot. It doesn't really work, but the deaths though are great, and there's a lot of them. So if you're in the mood for a fun slasher film, check it out this Valentine's Day. My Bloody Valentine 2009 is in 3D.
Very nice.
great. Yeah, no, pop it on your 3D TV. That's a thing, right? That people still have. Speaking of 3D. All three of us, plus our roommate Enrique, went and saw
Titanic.
the re-release of Titanic.
Whoa.
I don't think I ever needed to see Titanic in 3D, but here we are.
Yeah, I did not know it was in 3D until they handed me the glasses.
The 3D was great.
No, it
I
was.
thought. Like,
Was it?
yeah, I feel like it added a lot of depth to the image.
You were wearing your glasses and the 3D glass on top of it, right?
Yeah, but
Because you weren't wearing.
the glasses work the same despite having 2 layers of glasses.
Oh.
The first pair lets me see at all, and the second pair lets me see in 3D. So it was just fine.
But you didn't think the effects were good? That's why I asked, because you
I
sounded
just
unimpressed.
don't care. I think with Avatar, I was like, oh yeah, this makes sense why it would be in 3D. There's all this cool shit. But with Titanic, I was like, oh cool, their hands are closer to us. Nice, sick.
It worked for her.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I had never seen Titanic before.
Really?
Yeah, please tell me.
Yeah, Titanic was one of those movies that I feel like I caught chunks of on basic cable for all of my childhood. Mm-hmm. And I always kind of was under the impression of oh, it's going to be too schmaltzy, too broad strokes romance, I'm not going to be into it. Good fucking movie.
Yeah.
Big Jim, don't miss.
He sure does not.
No.
I went and looked at my rankings of James Cameron's movies, and I'm like, wow, the lowest anything is on here is a 3.5. That is a fucking consistent filmmaker.
It's a sterling record.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. Again, I put in my review, I've never been a huge champion of the movie Titanic. I've liked it. I've admired it. But on this rewatch, I love it. I do think I love Titanic.
That's so funny. I feel like this was the least liked viewing of the Titanic for me.
Really?
But this may actually be like a smidgen Zach's fault.
Ah, come on. No.
You know, when I'm watching like a love story, I don't want
Yeah.
Zach whispering in my ear and like shaking the seat.
It's me, Fabrizio.
I told Zach when we went back to the car, I was like, Zach, not everything is a bit.
But listen, when you put the most cartoonish fucking Italian man ever to exist in a movie as your romantic lead's best friend, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to take him seriously.
I literally never even noticed that so much before you pointed it out like
first
that.
of all,
It's so noticeable.
And I disagree. It's not the most cartoonish Italian. That's pure hyperbole, what you just said.
It's absolutely
But
not.
also,
I'm coming to America.
you shook the actual seats of the theater, and I was like mortified. I was like, we are in a nice theater, and it's Valentine's Day weekend, and people are trying to watch a love story, and we're just over here being dicks.
I do have to ask really quickly, was my level of crying, which was a lot.
Dude, you were sniffling through the whole
Yeah,
fucking
no, I wanna-
thing. I
It
could
was
hear you.
weeping.
I want to ask you, did it detract from the experience for you
Yes.
guys? Did it?
I could
Yeah.
just hear everyone sniffling around
Yeah.
me, and I was like, why am I not crying? Am I
Yeah,
just a whole
I'll be
cold-hearted
honest.
bitch
There was a
now?
quick moment where I was really feeling the movie, and I was like, God, am I being too emotional right now? Like, should I have seen this alone? But then I was like, you know what? No, this movie's working for me. I'm not going to apologize for being completely taken by this film.
Just as I will
But I
not
did feel,
apologize for being
I did feel a
completely
little
taken by the
self-conscious at one
Italian
point.
man. I will not apologize for being completely taken by, what was his name? Fabrizio De Rossi? Mamma mia.
Fabrizio.
I had a great time.
Yeah,
I loved it.
yeah,
5 stars for me.
Really enjoyed it. Solid 4-star film for me.
I fucking love Titanic, but I think I'm just like not as into like that epic type of love story, I guess, in the same way anymore. I mean, I watched that since I was a kid, like yearly, probably.
Yeah.
Like I said, the VTs, we love our steamy period piece sex.
They love,
scenes.
as I said, they love steamy period sex.
So Simon, what are your feelings on Titanic?
Few and far between. I haven't seen it since high school. Honestly, I might try and see it in theaters as it's being re-released and whatnot. I don't know about 3D. I'm always like curious if retroactively 3Ding a movie works. It literally never has for me. Like the only 3D movie I have enjoyed in theaters are Avatar 1 and 2, and like, you know, that was 100% the intention from the get-go. But when it comes to Titanic, I don't know. Lindsay Ellis loves it, so I like it. I'm really that simple. She's has a well-formed argument, and I'm like, all right, I buy it. It's a good movie.
You've convinced me.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm old enough that like we had it on VHS, but the movie's so fucking long. There was 2 VHS,
2 tapes.
2 tapes.
Yeah.
So I would
weirdly, we owned it too, and I never watched it.
I would watch the first tape a bunch of times, which cuts off at them like on the bow where she's like, "I'm flying, Jack, I'm flying."
Which was the first time I cried. And then I was a mess for the rest of the film. That's what got me first.
Yeah, Mick and another guy in our row were like having a weeping off.
Dude, no, for real. I was just like, are you sick? Are people sick or are they fucking crying?
No,
I
crying.
can't tell.
The movie was working. I'm not going to apologize for it. The movie worked so well for me.
Yeah, this middle-aged
I love
guy.
you, Jack and Rose.
This middle-aged guy at the end of our row, like, legit had to get up and leave the theater a couple times, I think, because he was getting too emotional.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
hilarious.
He's in a good
I wasn't
place.
that bad.
I will say this. I do appreciate Zach sitting next to me so that I could have somebody to be like, look at that hat! I love that hat!
Yeah, and I appreciate Alexis sitting next to me, so I could go, damn, look at those bazongas on K. Winslet.
Oh, Jesus.
That is, okay, wait.
The cut from the drawing of her topless to her old, going, it was the most erotic moment of my life. It's so funny.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Anything else we've seen lately?
I watched a movie called Behind the Mask.
Oh,
The Rise of Leslie Vernon, which I thought was okay. It's a horror mockumentary. It's actually shot up in Oregon. That I feel like had a lot of potential, but kind of falls apart in its third act. It kind of feels like Mick was saying it feels kind of like a proto version of What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah.
But it kind of gives up on being a comedy in the third act, and it shouldn't have, because the comedy was what was really working there. I don't know. Drew recommended it to me. Our Simon and I's mutual friend, Drew.
You got to be careful with those
it.
recommendations.
Yeah, no, it could be a mixed bag from that guy. He's a bad guy.
Alexis finally showed me Promising Young Woman, which is
cool.
a good film. Have you seen that, Simon?
I have, yeah.
What do you think?
I watched that movie twice in 24 hours. Like, it just, like, one of those few movies that, like, really captured my attention, and I was, like, so interested in the conversation around it that I was like, I have to watch this again. Yeah, I'm really interested. So what, was she a Nicholson Fellowship recipient? There was something big about that script. It was, like, top on the blacklist or something.
Emerald Fennel?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm actually not certain. I just know she has like another movie coming out this year now.
There's a lot of jazz about that script when it first got like picked up to actually be made, and I don't know. I really, really like elements of it. I was so fascinated by the decor of her room, and how the character is. I don't know what exactly it was trying to say. It seems like there's some element of like emotional stiltedness that it's getting at, where it's like this trauma has like left
like
certain
a doll room.
I've let like certain aspects of her personality like in the past. There's a great shot where like Alison Brie walks into her room and just kind of like takes it all in for a second before starting the conversation, and like nothing is said, but I'm like, what's going on there? So it was beautiful to look at, and like a lot of really good writing in there. I don't know if it always worked for me. I don't like how the police solve everything. It's like very much working against the system that often perpetrates a lot of this dog shit. So there was I don't know. It didn't 100% work for me, but again, I did watch it twice in 24 hours and was fascinated by it. So. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a good revenge-o-matic. I thought it worked for what it was. That was good. Alexis, do you have anything to say? Because you've been championing this film for a long time, trying to get me to watch it. Now you're silent as the grave.
Oh, yeah. No. I told Nick to watch it one Sunday, and I don't remember what you watched, but I was so deeply offended by what you watched instead of watching Promising Young Woman that I was mad at you for like a week.
It was probably like The Blob.
No, it was some dude movie, and I was like, oh, cool.
Was it The Fugitive? Because if so,
it was a while ago. But what do you think about it? Share your thoughts.
I really like the movie. I think it's the first time I've actually seen like a female revenge movie that like made sense to me, I guess. I don't know. I really liked how they weaponized the word beauty and you're so pretty, you're so beautiful, because that is like kind of, I don't know, from personal experience, something that I have seen. So I thought that her writing was pretty fun. I thought it was like maybe a little too heavy-handed like in the beginning, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. And I love Bo Burnham, so I'm like, I will directly champion this movie.
He's really good, like shockingly good in that movie.
He made me fall in. This was obviously like her fucking purpose, but he made me fall in love with him, and then he like broke my heart.
Yeah, he's so good at playing a bastard. Oh my god.
Especially because like I loved that they chose Emerald, whoever was doing the music, they chose fucking Paris Hilton's "The Stars Are Blind" song for him to sing along to in the pharmacy, and I was this is a man who definitely doesn't have problems with his masculinity, and then he fucked me over anyways. And I took it as a deep personal offense.
It felt like that meme from Tiger King or whatever. Like, I'm never going to emotionally recover from this. Like when we find out about him, like, oh no.
Yeah, I was like, I should have seen that come. That's the thing is that movie really kind of gives you that like feeling of like, damn, I should have seen that coming, and kind of like re-cements you into like, I guess, you know, like her downward fall, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Something I felt similar about, I think I watched it after Promising Young Woman, but also it was like just so invigorating watch. I May Destroy You, like definitely recommend if it's
I have that on my list.
Oh my god. I think you'd really like it, Alexis. It's on HBO.
It's a series, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's getting a season to. I don't think it was intended to. Michaela Cole has done like mini series in the past.
Yeah.
She was just in the new Black Panther. She rocks. But yeah, she like wrote, directed, and starred in it, and it's terrifying, but also really, really funny and endearing at times. But yeah, a similar, not quite revenge, but like piecing together the truth kind of story.
Yeah.
And it has a lot of that, like, subtle weaponizing of language in these social situations that was just so scary to watch unfold, but really well done.
Oh, yeah. I think that, maybe what I liked the most about Promising Young Woman was, like, how stylistic it was, which, like, made it not seem like it was taking, like, lighthearted what was going on, but it didn't feel like, it was like, it was so dark, and yet the palette was so pastel.
It's got panache. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yes. All right.
Lovely.
Mick, did we talk about this already? Or Desert Hearts?
No, we haven't. That was a good
Okay.
film we watched.
Yeah.
Desert Hearts, 1985, I think.
Yeah.
Neat.
Written and directed by two separate women, and the director was actually a lesbian herself. So it's like kind of one of the first like on-screen like depictions of like lesbianism, like especially like sex and stuff like that. So
Yeah, it was a really beautiful story and beautiful film too. You know that old adage, every frame a painting. Robert Elswit, who DP'd it, that whole movie's gorgeous.
Okay.
Really,
it was
really good.
really pretty.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch that on HBO? That's on HBO Max, right?
It is on
so,
HBO Max.
Okay, yeah, I might check that out.
Yeah, no, really, really good.
Wait.
Or I might watch The Fugitive again. I don't know.
Oh my God! Please
Also
go
really,
die.
really good.
I watched The Fugitive twice in a week.
Watch a lesbian movie.
Well, okay, but does a lesbian film have Dr. Richard Kimball in it? Because he's one of my very best friends.
All right.
I don't know who that is.
He didn't kill his wife, I can tell you that.
Oh shit!
I don't care.
Wait, have you not seen... Oh, yeah. I've been trying to figure out, like, a way that I can
What
get
human
us
being
to-
do I know have I not shown this movie to yet?
I mean, one, yeah.
Yeah.
But two, how I can get us to cover The Fugitive.
I've already told you I'm in. You don't have to twist my
No,
arm.
I know. It's a great film. Alexis, you're going to love it.
Wait, Alexis, what were you saying before The Fugitive popped into this?
Oh, my favorite thing that you said about the movie, because it was actually my first time watching it as well, but it'd been on my list
Desert
for
Hearts.
Desert Hearts. It'd been on my list of like queer movies to watch for like, I don't know, maybe a decade.
Wow.
And you said something like, "Oh, I like it how women actually write men more interesting than men write men."
Yes, I stand by that. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I loved how you saw that. So
Yeah, no, it's what you're touching on is like when you watch a movie that's written and directed by women, the male characters are just more intrinsically interesting to me. Like they're written differently. They can still be outgoing and charming, but they're not like doing it by being overly masculine. They're being like nice guys, you know? And it's just nice to see masculinity portrayed through the female authorship. I don't know. I just think they're more interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that personally, Jeb Stewart and David Twohy kind of write some pretty interesting men.
Is that The Fugitive?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great
Oh my god.
I'm so
Simon,
done
this
with
is what we deal with. Well, you know better than we do.
I certainly do.
Yeah.
My years with
Good
this
lord.
bastard are over. You take him now.
No, Simon and I did high school theater together, so he really
Oh
good God.
wow!
You
You can
really saw,
only
like,
imagine.
the most
shit.
annoying version. Well, a very annoying version of me. I don't know. This podcast might take it.
I played your father, motherfucker.
That might be the best flex
I played
I've
your
heard
father,
on this
motherfucker.
show
I
so
love
far.
that.
I played your
I'm
father,
your dad,
motherfucker.
bitch.
Say hello to Puppy.
Sorry, Dad.
Yeah, Simon, there might be a little bit of territorial stuff going on here, but you should know our residential daddy of this group is Alexis Avitia.
Oh
Got
my
it.
God,
There won't be
gross
much.
stuff.
There won't be much, headbutting going on here. But I hope we can all just get along.
Yeah.
You know
Understood.
what? I feel like it's time. I can pass the baton to you for Zach specifically.
Yeah, Simon's the new daddy.
No, he's not my daddy. He's my father.
Oh, okay. That's true. That's a very. It's a very.
There's a
special
difference.
distinction
That's right.
there.
Darth Vader doesn't say, "I am your daddy." That would have been a different twist.
I don't know. He is covered
No,
in black
he's
leather.
covered in leather. Yep.
Fuck Do we have anything else going on?
I don't think so.
Do we want to...
Oh, I did catch up, not all the way, but I watched the first 3 episodes of The Last of Us.
Oh.
Nice.
And what do you think?
Great. One of the best fucking queer, like, love stories I've ever fucking
Right?
seen in episode 3. Holy shit.
brutal.
I cried.
Yeah.
I hung out with my friend Allison, she used to play the game too, so.
Oh, did you really? Great. Sorry, what were you saying,
That's
Simon?
amazing. No, I'd love to say just one thing about that episode. It's been so aggravating how many of the, like, just homophobic review bombs that I've seen that are like, this had nothing to do with the show. You're pushing the gay on us.
What? It's in the
Like,
game.
it's so silly. Yeah, no, like, so much of it is in the game. Yes, Bill was, like, very sidelined character, and we don't actually meet Frank. But for me, that episode has everything to do with Joel. We get to see what that man is depriving himself of, right? Like, well, it'll explore it more in the season, but, like, Joel has just cut himself off from love. He doesn't ever acknowledge Tess as his romantic interest. When she, spoiler, passes away, he doesn't confide in Ellie how much that loss meant to him. So we get to see this, like, beautiful story unfold and still be possible in this post-apocalyptic world, and then cut back to Joel, who's just going to continue to, like, hurt and punish himself until he can finally open up to Ellie. Like, come on, dude. Have a little media literacy, dog.
Impossible. Difficulty impossible.
Yeah.
Well
Nice.
said. Yeah.
Love that. All right, well, I feel like we could probably get out of what's going on. And we are back. Hey, everyone.
Wow.
Howdy.
It's
actually-
so nice to be back.
We actually did take a little break that time.
It was great.
Yeah. Alexis is so
Alexis is a new woman. We're not going to say why.
Shut up! All I did was...
Let's just say the way of water flows within all of us.
All right.
We are like 70 to 80% water, so
Yeah,
that's
no.
true.
We are surrounded by it in the womb. But I don't remember
I'm
the whole
feeling
thing.
very AWA.
What is that pickup line I learned the other day? Like, did you know that, we're 70% water and damn, I'm thirsty.
Why do you say things like that?
I saw it on TikTok. Well, you should be proud of me. You're the TikTok champion. I was like,
I
yeah,
am the TikTok champion.
I'm still not on there, and I'm not planning on
Don't be.
being.
It's not. It's, yeah.
It's a black hole.
Yeah. So, do we want to get into our big topic?
No.
Absolutely.
At some point.
You don't? Well, maybe
No, I kind of do, actually. I've thought about it and I want to.
But we're getting into it, and our big topic is our favorite love triangles on film.
Ah. Or video.
Okay, well, that's different.
That back room at the VHS. There was this one I saw.
Disgusting.
Mick, you're thinking of an Eiffel Tower, which is different.
Oh, je ne sais quoi.
That reminds me of a picture of me.
What? What picture?
Oh, my God. Please don't tell us more. Oh, God. And this Valentine's Day,
Oh my god.
we should make that onto the First Film Majors t-shirt.
Joke.
Okay.
Well,
Look at Simon over there. He's horrified. Jesus.
Yeah, this is a little less reined in than Simon's show.
Oh.
Simon's show has a little more structure to it.
A smidgen, you may say.
Simon, what's a love triangle you like?
On video.
The one I'm bringing to the table today is broadcast news. Probably my all-time favorite rom-com. 1987, written by James L. Brooks, who's one of the creators of The Simpsons. He also did As Good as It Gets, some other amazing movies. But yeah, it's unbelievable. It's so unbelievable. To give you like the sort of log line of the film, it's about Jane Craig, played by an unbelievable Holly Hunter. Like, this is probably my favorite role
love
of hers.
her.
And she's always
yeah.
great. She's so good. She is a newsroom producer, and she works with Albert Brooks, who plays Aaron Altman, who's a sort of like tenured reporter who's never gotten first desk kind of thing. Like, he's never been the anchorman. He's been like the side reporter or field reporter all this time. And then in comes William Hurt, played by William Hurt. His name is Tom Grunick, who's the new sort of stupid but very handsome lead anchorman. And it creates this like amazing love triangle of like Albert Brooks's character has been in love with Jane Craig clearly all this time. They are really, really good friends. He's kind of like he's rude but has a great sense of humor. He's played by Albert Brooks, so like he can kind of fill in the blanks there. And then there's Tom Grinick, who's this character that like represents everything that Jane is against as a journalist. Like she sort of opens the film with a presentation about how broadcast news as a whole is like turning more towards just tabloidy tendencies and having pretty faces on camera as opposed to like legitimate journalism. This is like the end of the Walter Cronkite era, just so everyone knows where we are time-wise. So he like represents everything that she hates. Like he's an oafish dude who only really has like, I think, some limited sports experience in journalism and is now going to be talking about war and stuff to the entire nation. But God, he's hot, and they have such good chemistry.
We love that.
So it's an amazing, amazing love triangle that, you know, Jane Craig like has a whole bunch of anxiety on the job, is like really, really fierce in front of her boss, but has like random spouts throughout the film where she just bursts into tears. And yeah, really has to find her own way between these two men or with none of them entirely. So it's great. I can't recommend it enough.
You've sold me on it. I added it to my watch list as soon as you pitched it on the group chat the other day.
It's unbelievable.
Much like my actual father, Simon loves broadcast news.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
My dad has been pitching me that movie for years, so I should.
Yeah.
Now that my other father has.
Yeah, that Venn diagram is becoming more and more of a single circle every day.
Your dad wants to
great.
come on my podcast too. I can't forget that.
Oh, that's
my God!
hilarious.
Yeah, no, he.
The Venn
really
diagram
does.
is closing.
That chasm is getting narrower.
He keeps going like, I would do so much better on that show, and I'm like, no, you wouldn't. Shut up.
You never know. You never know.
Aw,
Happy birthday,
that's
by
not
the way.
nice
It's
of you.
his birthday, so he's even older today.
Oh, great.
Wait, today?
Yeah, today we're recording on the 12th.
Well, happy birthday
that's
to
right.
him.
My dad's birthday's tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Wait, all the dads are having birthdays.
Great.
Cool. Hey, happy birthday, Mr. Harris.
Yes. Yar.
Happy birthday.
Yar.
Broadcast News also features a pitch-perfect supporting performance by Joan Cusack, in case you needed another reason to watch it.
I love Joan
Oh my
Cusack.
God, she's hysterical in this movie.
She's great. She's hilarious.
Yeah.
She's an underrated comedic actress.
Yeah.
Oh, I fucking love that woman.
Yeah, she's
good.
really, really great.
She was in a bunch of like those Disney movies too. Fuck, what was the one that I was thinking about?
I think School of Rock is what introduced
She's
me to
so
her.
good in School of Rock.
So good in School of
Yeah.
Rock. Oh, you know what? She's actually really good in this like terrible movie, The Ice Princess. Was it? I think it was like with Michelle Trachtenberg.
The Ice Princess.
Yeah, and Kim Cattrall from fucking Sex and the City's in there too. It's just
Whoa.
like it's like A-list.
Nice.
Anyways,
Neat.
sorry.
Cool.
Well,
that is
that'll
cool.
go on my list too.
Yep. Broadcast News and the Ice Princess.
Sloan probably really likes that
I
one.
low-key think she has told me that we're going to watch The Ice Princess.
Yes!
There we go.
She's doing the world a service.
Nice.
Okay, so Alexis.
Yeah, what's one of
love
yours?
triangles.
Sure.
Please
I
don't
have-
take mine.
I have two. Mine would be The Favorite.
Ooh,
Oh, very nice.
yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah, Emma Stone, Olivia Colman, Rachel Weisz.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
honestly nothing I love better than like men being idiots and women
And
Clearly.
just making.
that's why
Yeah,
you do
making
clearly, because you
everything
surround
happen.
yourself by it.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, this is great. I don't know, just like the fucking all the. My favorite thing about period piece movies is always like the fucking way people. Fuck, what is the word for it?
Scheme.
Not just scheme. Oh,
Plot?
when they like drag each other, you know, like verbally.
Oh, the way they insult each other
yeah,
in the most
the
polite of
insults
ways.
are so polite.
you, yeah.
Yeah, that's like one of my favorite things, and like the women are even like infinitely more clever about it.
People were cunning back then and witty.
I think just in general, women are cunning because we've had to be, and I think that movie is like a perfect kind of amalgamation of like, damn. We really fucking got this shit on lock. Like scheming, cunning, all that shit.
But with great contemporary humor, too, put in there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I even love fucking, I don't know. Anyways, that movie for sure. Another movie from the 80s, but like, whatever.
Your other choice?
My other choice, yeah.
What was it? Just so we know.
Some Kind of Wonderful.
Oh,
Only because
okay.
there's like this scene where like, so this guy is trying to get this like very popular girl at school to like go out with him, and she does agree because she like breaks up with her piece of shit boyfriend. But he has this like best friend who's kind of like a tomboy. And so, like, the tomboy is like, well, do you think she's going to, like, want to go out with you if, like, you've, like, never even kissed anybody? And so then they end up, like, practicing kissing. And it's just, like, really cute. Because, obviously, like, he's probably a good kisser. And then, like, she gets all flustered. And he's like, you're blushing. She's like, fuck off. No, I'm not. You know? Spoiler alert, they do end up together. So it's precious.
Cute.
Great.
We love that.
Mick?
I actually have a couple as well. I think.
Oh, no, because I really don't have any.
Oh, okay. You don't have any?
I got, like, some that I can think of, but I don't know if
You're not a
like,
romance boy. I had, like,
favorites.
a short list of 5, so.
I'm probably going to go with one of those that were in your 5, maybe. I really enjoy the dynamic between Mark Darcy, Daniel Cleaver, and
that was
Bridget
my
Jones.
other one, but
From Bridget Jones's Diary.
Check out our Bridget Jones's Diary.
Yeah, we reviewed
episode.
that on this show.
Yes.
That's just
it's the one where Mick didn't have headphones when he called in.
Oh,
Yep.
I'm so sorry. But no, that's a great film. I really love it. It was Alexis. Thank you again, Alexis, introduced that to me. Rewatching it was just so much fun. And, you know, you can have a love triangle where it's like, oh, I don't know, like, who I want, like, her to end up with. Because it's almost always a woman and 2 men. Like, that's kind of like the Hollywood format. Typically when it comes to these love triangles with these rom-coms.
Yeah.
But in that one, it's pretty clear, like, oh, I don't want you to be with Daniel Cleaver. I want you to be with the other guy. But at the same time, Daniel Cleaver is played by Hugh Grant, so damn. It's like, oh, it's so enticing.
Is that the... I don't know. I feel like I've seen so many movies where, like, 2 women are, like, pitted against each other for, like, one man's affection.
I really can't think of, like, any
I can't think of
off
one.
the top of my head.
There's that one with
But you've
Chris
seen more of
Pine.
this genre than we have.
There's that one with Chris Pine. It was like This Means War or something like that.
Oh,
But those
right.
ones
I
don't
saw
even
that.
feel like a love triangle because it's like a revenge narrative. Like
Yeah.
they are. It is literally 2 women like just fighting each other as opposed to
Wait,
like
no,
winning
This Means
affections.
War is 2 guys fighting each other.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's
Well-
Chris Pine and Tom Hardy competing over Reese Witherspoon, I believe.
Oh, you're right. There was
Yeah.
one.
Well,
Sorry.
see, there you go.
Oh,
There
because
are
they're
many.
like both spies or something. But there's one in
Oh,
a similar
right,
vein
right.
with 2 women. I can't remember
Yeah.
what it's called.
So yeah, love Bridget Jones's Diary, and I'm actually, I think, though, if
You're
I had to
gonna
go with
take
my,
mine.
if I had to go with my number 1,
I know what it is.
it's Twilight.
Yeah.
I actually
It's
almost
Twilight.
texted the group chat after you said that no one can pick Twilight.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we'll all pick Twilight.
Yeah, I wanted
I-
to be like, no one can do Twilight because that's our theme.
Yeah, it's we love Twilight. God, it was a whole thing back in the day. What team you want? Team Edward, Team Jacob. I'm gonna proclaim it now. Team Edward all the way.
Yeah, well, you know. the
Ab
other
and I
one's
watched
fucking-
all 5 at the beginning of the pandemic, and the conclusion
What'd you
we
think?
came to was we are Team Edward because Bella does not deserve Jacob. That was our conclusion.
Wow.
I couldn't
Yeah.
disagree with that more.
I don't give a shit about Jacob. I don't.
You know-
Jacob can
He's
go
a
jump
tan
in a
marshmallow.
fucking hole.
There's I don't know. I just don't like Jacob because he's kind of like, I don't know. He's a teenage boy. And I mean, like, Edward's like a teenage boy, but he's a really old teenage
He's an
boy.
old man.
He's an old daddy boy.
He's an old man, and that makes his relationship with the teenager.
And plus,
hot.
he's pale and sickly, and Alexis loves that.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
There you go. That's the secret sauce, folks.
Okay, I actually did think of one that's not Twilight.
Oh, what is it?
Surprisingly.
Great, wow.
Sleepless in Seattle. It's
Oh, with Bill Pullman.
yeah, Bill Pullman. I
can
think is
see
like
that.
a really
No, he is.
compelling, sweet love interest for Meg Ryan, but it's also like
He's allergic to
This
everything.
this dude is literally allergic to everything, and he's a fucking wet blanket. Like,
Jesus.
Can't do
He's
it.
a wet, allergic blanket.
yeah, we don't want Meg to end up with him. So
It's so tragic. You know, you just like get married to them and then you accidentally eat shellfish one day and then kiss them.
that's it.
Oh, it's such
Lights
an
out.
accident, wink,
What
wink.
yeah.
Who put this lobster in front of this man? God damn it.
Oh God. Yeah. So you guys are so pleased about this.
I don't know. I it's not often that me and Mick meet in our serial killer jokes, but it was
But when it
nice.
does happen,
Yeah. When it does happen, I'm wishing that I was on Simon's end.
Oh, I think Simon logged off. Where is it? Oh, there he is. Okay. Yeah.
Present
No,
for
that's
the
a great
cabin
choice,
floor.
Zach.
Thank you.
Great choice.
Yeah.
What was it again?
Sleepless in Seattle.
Right. Yes. Good choice.
Yeah.
God.
Sorry.
Fired.
We're doing really good.
Nora Ephron. We love
Yeah,
Nora
we
Ephron.
love
Yes, Nora, the queen.
The
Queen
queen.
of the genre.
That's right.
She runs the fucking game.
I will admit, I do cry when she's in the car and she's listening to the radio show, which, by the way, is very intrusive. Like, I'm kind of with her where she's like, oh, don't answer her. Like, oh, this is, like, so horrible. Don't answer her, Jonah. But, God, like that, the way she's, like, driving down the road and listening to this radio show. What's it called? What's a radio show called?
I don't know. I haven't seen that movie
I
in
don't
forever.
remember.
Fuck, it's at the tip of my tongue. Simon, do you know what's the name of the radio show she's listening to?
I've actually never seen it. It's a big one I'm missing.
Really?
Wow.
Put it on the list. It's not as good as When Harry Met Sally, but it is very good.
It's probably
Yeah.
not as good as broadcast news.
It's Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks, right?
Right.
Yes. Yeah,
So
it
the
was-
one that my parents had us watch instead was Joe versus the Volcano, which
That's the only
What?
one that I haven't seen.
It's-
that they're
I
in
haven't
together.
even heard of that.
it is hysterical. No one has seen it. Probably awful. Like there's moments that I'm thinking on now that definitely didn't age well. But Jesus Christ, is it a
we
ridiculous
love
film?
Yeah, that's
What's it ca- wait,
that's
what's
a
it called
Joe
again?
Dante movie.
Joe versus the Volcano.
Joe, okay.
It's also
Hold on, I'm whipping
Tom
out
Hanks
my
and
old
Meg Ryan.
cellular device over here and putting that in my watch list. Joe versus the Volcano. Listeners, I hope you're enjoying this show as we're all on our phones right now. Stand
There's
by,
a lot
folks.
of quotes from that defined my childhood. There's a whole lot that bumped around the Luedtke house.
Yeah, that's how I felt about or was with When Harry Met Sally. Like, again, so much of a movie can inform your personality and sense of humor as you get older, and then you rewatch it and you go back, it's like, wow, I use that line all the time. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's like in fucking Titanic when I was like, yeah, guys, I say Jesus, Mary, and Joseph all the time.
You do. I realized that.
Because
Yeah.
of this one Irish woman.
Yeah, and I'm definitely gonna start saying "I'm coming to America" a lot now. It's kind
Great.
of gonna become my catchphrase.
I love
think
that.
everyone's gonna be excited.
Love that coming from
I
a
do
white man.
genuinely.
Are Italians not white now?
I do genuinely die a little bit inside every time you do that voice, which I think might be why you do
That
it.
it's a big part of it.
It's giving Mario and Luigi.
Oh, mamma mia! All right. Well, I feel like we've plumbed the depths of
We've milked this
love
titty.
triangle. We've suckled at that teat until it was dry, and I think now
You know, okay. You're the most lactose intolerant person on this show. Why do you always do the teat joke?
because she loves tits.
You know what? I'm with her.
You know
That
what?
answers that.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Because I love tits. I have no retort to that.
And on that note,
No, nothing to
let's
say.
shift into a discussion about a movie that came out when the Hays Code was still in effect.
Yeah.
Oh, we love that. Hey,
And
snaps for
that
Hayes.
is The Philadelphia Story. It's a 1940 film directed by George Cukor and starring Katharine Hepburn, Cary Grant, and Jimmy Stewart.
Ooh.
That's my boy.
That's
Our
great.
second film we're covering where Jimmy Stewart ruthlessly steals someone's girl right in front of him.
Oh my god, I love
Drunkenly.
it.
Yeah.
A drunk Jimmy Stewart just shows up and steals your girl.
I was like,
It's-
please take me to the pool. Thank
He's
you.
So,
real drunk.
really quickly, in case you have not seen The Philadelphia Story, which, by the way, you can find it on HBO Max right now, this classic romantic comedy focuses on Tracy Lord, played by Katharine Hepburn, a Philadelphia socialite who has split from her husband, C.K. Dexter Haven, played by Cary Grant, due both to his drinking and to her overly demanding nature. As Tracy prepares to wed the wealthy George Kittredge, played by John Howard, she crosses paths with both Dexter and prying reporter Macaulay Connor, played by Jimmy Stewart. Unclear about her feelings for all three men, Tracy must decide whom she truly loves.
So it's more of a love square.
It's more of a love square.
Yeah.
It's a love parallelogram.
But it's
Right.
but George is never really a contender.
Yeah,
If
George
we're
is,
being
yeah,
honest.
George is not in the fucking
It's
ball.
Cary Grant
No,
and
he's
James
not.
Stewart we're talking about here.
Yes.
Oh no, I thought we were talking about the friend.
Kittredge?
No, not Kittredge.
Who? Who?
The girl?
Mike's friend.
Wazowski.
Damn.
Oh,
What's
Liz?
Her name? Yeah. Elizabeth Imbrie.
Which, by the way,
Imbrie.
she's great.
Yeah,
I'm rooting for her the whole time.
Yeah.
All my favorite lines were like delivered by her.
She's great.
So let's get into it. Simon, had you seen this movie before?
No, this was totally new for me. It's been on my watch list on HBO for a really long time, but I knew that it was one of the prominent examples of the comedy of remarriage, which was like a huge trend in the 30s and 40s, specifically designed to dodge the Hays Code of people, flirting with outsiders outside of marriage and then remarrying. So it's all cool in the end. It's all good.
Salty.
Don't worry. Extramarital affairs are chilling. They're within the Hays Code. Yeah, so
Nice.
it was great.
Cool. I'm with you, Simon. I had never seen it before. This was my first time. Big
Alexis?
time.
I actually saw this movie for the first time in theaters, maybe like 5 or 6 years ago.
Wow.
I had a blast. I was kind of shook that this movie was so fucking funny.
Yeah.
It is a very, very funny script.
Yeah. It's a generation ahead of its time, I think, in terms of witty banter.
Yeah.
It's really good, really naturalistic, funny stuff.
Well,
And great performances too.
I think that's why it's so good, though, is because it's anything that's like, it's so well written that like even at this day and age we still find it really funny. Because like the whole thing with the girl at the beginning where she's saying something like, I can't afford to hate anyone, I'm just a photographer.
Yeah.
And then he's like going on, he's like, it's ridiculous, it's degrading.
Yeah.
So is being hungry. And it's like, oh, we all know that. You
Yeah,
know, like
for
being
real.
like artist
Yeah.
types, we all know groceries are kind of expensive now.
Yeah.
That's really funny. There's so many types of humor too. I was really surprised by it. There were so many like laugh out loud moments for me that were completely different. There was some like physical comedy. There's a lot of that witty
Yes.
banter. There's a lot of situational humor. It just like runs the whole gambit. It is not one single thing. It's great.
Yeah, I'm glad you're pointing that out. There's one shot in particular that I really, really enjoyed. It's in the beginning where Macaulay Connor, Jamie Stewart, walks into where all the wedding gifts are there.
I'm so
And
glad
he's
you're
looking at
pointing
the
this out.
spoons. Yeah, and he looks at like this necklace. He's like, God, all this is. You can just tell. He's like, God, this is all gaudy and disgusting. And then the camera pans to the left to reveal a butler who was there the whole time, and he's just like, "Oh, I'm so uncomfortable. I did not know there was another man in this room with me." Starts putting the things away. I'm not stealing anything, I promise. And then walks out of frame. And then that becomes a running bit throughout the film, because then it cuts back to Jimmy Stewart looking at something. Someone walks in the room and he quickly puts it down like, oh, I thought it was a butler. And yeah, he's terrified of this butler. Like, it's a whole film. That's so funny. I love it. And that was a good bit of visual humor. There was no dialogue.
Yeah.
It was just a funny little thing.
It's a silent scene for like a good 2 minutes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So many of Jimmy Stewart's reactions in this movie get me, because the other bit that springs to mind for me is when he first meets Dinah, who is Katharine Hepburn's younger sister.
Dude, I love that girl.
Who is also great.
Incredible, played by Virginia Weidler. When he first meets her, she is like essentially intentionally being obnoxious because she knows that he's actually a reporter there to, snoop on her sister's wedding. And every time she like approaches him, like talking really, really loudly, he physically recoils.
He cowers behind his hat.
Yeah, you can see this like gigantically tall scarecrow of a man just like shrinking away from this little girl.
I describe him as the most handsomest pencil all around the world. He looks like a pencil. Even with his pinstripe suit. He's great. We love it.
I don't agree, but okay.
The most handsomest pencil?
He's slender and tall.
You said that you describe him like that. I've never heard you say that.
It's in my notes. It's in my notes.
All right.
Wow.
It's got a history of it.
Yeah, no, I wrote down a few moments of witty banter that I really enjoyed. Possibly my favorite of which is Jimmy Stewart drunkenly showing up at Cary Grant's home and going, I just wanted to talk to you. And Cary Grant goes, well, let's go in the talking room.
Yeah. And a funny little tidbit about that scene, because I saw this for the first time a couple nights ago Quick little shout out, Secret Movie Club. If you're in LA, go to their theater in the Arts District. It's this great like industrial loft they have upstairs. I saw it on a 35mm film, and before the movie plays, they do a little like Q&A thing. And one of the little tidbits they gave us about this film was during that scene where he comes over to Dexter's house and he's drunk as a skunk. Apparently, Jimmy Stewart was improvising all of that. That was not on the page. So
man.
when they're sitting down at the table, you see Cary Grant like he's sitting like this, but he keeps turning his head to the left, and he's not playing to camera, but Jimmy Stewart's just kind of like looking at him like this. It's because Cary Grant was trying so hard not to laugh that he keeps having to turn away from camera to not blow the scene. Because Jimmy Stewart's like, he's throwing in all those hiccups were not scripted. None of that was scripted. They just went with it.
That's so funny.
I was reading the same thing. It was specifically the hiccups that he like. There's a take in the film where he does like half break, and they kept it in the film. It was specifically the hiccups that just totally threw him for a loop.
Yeah, you can see Cary Grant like turn him like, "Fuck, dude, why are you doing this?"
Awesome.
I always love watching like old film bloopers because
Those are great. Yeah.
Everyone's like so put together, and like it's not like they're not naturalistic entirely, but there is like an element of artifice to all of the performances.
Believe it or not, they all did not sound like this at all times. And when the camera's not rolling,
kind of the weird thing is
some of them don't. They kind of break that voice
when they break.
Jimmy Stewart sounds like that for sure.
Yeah,
like, that's his voice.
Some actress who I saw who was like delivering a line, and then she just goes, "Oh God damn it, shit."
Was it Katharine Hepburn?
That's a Hepburn voice.
Like
I don't know. That's kind of the only old actress voice in my head now. It's so distinctive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I'm with you, and I think that scene also describes. We talk about really good chemistry. Cary Grant and Jimmy Stewart have really good chemistry together. I could have done with a few more scenes with just the two of them.
Of course you could.
What?
Cary Grant is your man and Jimmy Stewart is my man.
Well, that's the thing, though. On this movie, I'm kind of like, man, is Jimmy Stewart my man? I don't know.
Stop it. You're encroaching on my territory. Damn.
Okay, work your side of the street, girl. I'm over here, Cary Grant.
Oh, my God. See, this movie is kind of like the opposite dynamic of how I feel about Cary Grant and Jimmy Stewart in real life. Mm-hmm. Because in this movie, I'm like, hell yeah, Jimmy Stewart, you're the coolest. Cary Grant, you're kind of the son of a bitch.
Yeah.
In reality, Jimmy Stewart fucking supported the House of Un-American Activities.
He did?
Yes.
Oh,
Fuck
no.
you, Jimmy Stewart.
shit.
Fuck you. Cary Grant, cool guy.
Grant,
You know
very
what?
cool.
That was another tidbit that I learned was apparently all of the money that Cary Grant made from this film, he donated to the war effort for Britain fighting England before America joined the war.
Wait, did you say
damn.
for Britain fighting England?
For Britain fighting Germany, sorry. Yeah. Well, hey, you never know.
And it was a
yeah.
ludicrous amount of money, too. It was $137,000, which was like the most of any A-lister at the time.
He made
Crazy.
no money off this film. He donated all of it.
God,
Yeah.
Pretty
what a
nuts.
cool guy.
So, yeah, me being over here with Cary Grant.
Cary fucking Grant, let's go, buddy. Ow.
Whatever.
I think
Katharine
he
Hepburn's
has
really
the
cool,
best
too.
line in the whole film. Like, oh my God.
What is it?
Just when it like cuts to him, I think it's when the dad, or not the dad, the uncle walks in and he's like sitting in the garden
Uncle
and he
Willie.
goes, "Hello, friends and enemies," or like whatever that line is. Oh my God.
Yeah.
He's like just looking like a panther chilling on the fountain. He's so cool.
That's so true. God, he's so suave. And but here's okay. Oh God, so glad you brought this up. Speaking of him being suave and cool, right?
Yeah.
One scene he's decidedly not cool and suave in is in the beginning, where he makes himself known like, oh, I'm here to just cause harm pretty much. And Katharine Hepburn begins to pick up the phone to call someone to put the whole jig is up. And Cary Grant says the line, "Wait, Red, wait," just like that. Like do you know what I'm talking about?
He delivers it like Tim Robbins.
He does. Yeah. He quickly plays like this weird character where he like hunches down and says, "Wait, Red, wait." Like, wait. Cary Grant, what are you doing? I laugh every time I've seen it because I've seen it 3 times now.
Oh, wow.
It's hilarious. Yeah.
He did his homework.
Wow.
Alexis looked so startled at he's seen it 3 times.
I'm shocked.
Man. I also do have to say, in terms of Cary Grant being a son of a bitch in this movie, we're introduced to him just like straight up abusing his wife, which kind of gets into my main issue with this film.
And I'm with you.
Which is the ending.
Yep.
I
It doesn't
do
work.
not buy Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn getting back together at the end of the movie. I mean, I understand why you have to do it because of the fucking
It
age
feels
code.
so shoehorned. It does not work with the film. I'm completely with you. I second that all the way.
Yeah, and like, I don't know. Obviously it wouldn't happen during the era, but it would have been nice if Katharine Hepburn didn't end up with anybody.
Yeah. When I saw it for the first time, I was like, "Oh, is this movie going to end with like all of them just kind of going their separate ways and be like, God damn, this sure was a crazy wedding," or it would have been, but it never went off. But then she ends up with Dexter. Like all of a sudden, she's like, "Oh, right, I love this man, the man who threw me to the ground," and who, by the way, earlier in the film, that when her and Connor are getting ready to go for a swim during the day, you hear him whistling Dexter. She goes, "Oh, that's just Dexter, the man I'm going to fall in love with by the end of this movie and marry. Don't leave me alone with him. I don't want to be alone with him." She says, "Don't leave me alone. I don't want to be alone with him." This is the guy that she ends up with at the end of the movie? What the hell?
She says to not leave her alone with him because she knows that there's something still between them.
Now, here we go. Okay. Interesting.
I see how that's probably the intention. It's not how it plays to me.
Oh, that's how it plays for me.
So you're into that. Well,
No, she's not into it. She's recognizing
I'm not into it necessarily. That's how I saw it.
Okay. Oh, I'm excited now.
I agree with Alexis.
Okay, so Simon
Yeah.
and Alexis, what are our feelings on Dexter and Tracy getting together at the end?
I mean, like I said, I love Jimmy Stewart, but to me, it made sense that they got together at the end because he was obviously Kittredge. He says this thing. He's like, "I'm going to build you an ivory tower,"
Yep.
and she says, like, "I don't want to be worshipped. I just want to be loved." Right?
Yep. That's what
but
this whole movie's about.
just in general, like he is kind of shaping her up to be this goddess character that like fucking Dexter like tells her that she's kind of always like tried to embody.
Yeah.
You know? And then on the flip side you have fucking Mike Mike, who is kind of, trying to insinuate that she's way more free-spirited than like I think whatever. Anyways, doesn't he? His nickname's Mike, right?
Yes,
I was
explaining that to Mick.
Macaulay.
And I got it. I was like, Macaulay. Oh, Mike. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. At the very end, he like kind of. It just seems like he's the one who understands the whole of her and is willing to like let her be who she wants to be, I guess. I don't know. Like maybe, their previous marriage didn't work out, but I can kind of see like she says like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll be Yar," and he says, "Be whatever you like." And I feel like that's him having learned from whatever their previous relationship was. So for me, it worked.
Definitely.
So you're saying he knows the whole of her.
Okay. So Simon, what do you got to piggyback?
I'd say in a similar vein. I mean, first off, I just really liked Dexter the entire time, and just the reveal that like his intentions were always to get back with her. I really enjoyed. Like I never fully bought the whole like, oh, he's just come to like, make mayhem and fuck her, fuck with her. But like he was definitely here to get her back. But
Sorry, keep going.
But yeah, I think, Tracy's like very significantly challenged on a personal level in this, which is always a sign of a good movie. Like your protagonist just goes through hell. So yeah, she's like confronted point blank by Dexter and her own father that tell her that she's just like verging on inhuman, and they, see her as a goddess. Mike compares her to a queen as opposed to a goddess. She's always put on these altars, which is their only way to like wrap their head around her, complete refusal to recognize everyone's humanity and faults and all that kind of thing. So like maybe I drunk the Kool-Aid a little bit in knowing that this was a 40s movie and that she wouldn't end up alone. I do think that I would be pretty much as satisfied with that ending as I was with this one. But for me, when it came to that final decision, like she's granted the opportunity to start something new with Mike, but in effect would be repeating the same pattern that she's had with other people, which is like engaging with someone who worships you, giving you every excuse to indulge in these like rather like toxic tendencies that she has definitely had, and like not seeing people's humanity and like remain on an altar and all that. Whereas no, like in reality, the best path for her is to go back and fix. And it's, it's not necessarily her responsibility to like fix broken relationships, but that's why Dexter's here, right? Like Dexter sees that she's absolutely worth all this hell that they've put each other through. And ultimately Tracy recognizes that as well. And it just seems worth it in the end, to recommit themselves to each other. I really enjoyed it. It does happen really fucking quickly, but I think it stands up.
I think that's what kind of threw me for the loop, but I think you're both really right. Actually, that was something I put in my notes is, Cary Grant is going so much out of his way to show how little he doesn't care about her, to kind of like trip her up. Like he's putting so much effort into it, and something that I think they both really enjoy, Dexter and Tracy, is sparring with each other.
Oh, absolutely.
Throwing insults off each other.
They're flirting.
They are flirting. Like that is genuine chemistry.
This is foreplay for them.
Well, that's the thing. And it is performative because and it's kind of like role play, because then when Jimmy Stewart leaves, like, oh man, too bad he didn't stay, because that would have been a really good tidbit for his article kind of thing. I think I get what you guys mean, where there is that genuine connection. It may not be healthy, but there is that genuine connection between them. And it is why I think Jimmy Stewart and her have really good chemistry, but I'm glad they don't end up together, is because what you're both speaking to is Jimmy Stewart and probably Kittredge conflate infatuation with love. They're infatuated with her. They put her on a pedestal, and she is so sick of it because, as you pointed out, Simon, even her dad basically says, oh, you think yourself a goddess. And at the very end, he's like, oh, you look so beautiful on your wedding. You look like a goddess. And she's like, well, I feel like a human. And that's how the film ends. She's finally feeling her humanity. So, yeah, I still like,
I feel like Dexter kind of operates like as a foil for her to kind of figure out what she doesn't want, because she's obviously still stuck in that cycle of like being with somebody who is conflating infatuation with love.
Right.
And so keeps reminding her of these things of like, oh, you think of yourself as a goddess. And to be honest, I mean, it does seem rather rude and mean of him to be saying these things, like bringing up like the past of like why they didn't work out. But I think it actually operates as like a foil for her to like see what it is that she actually doesn't like in her life.
So you're saying he is the only one that, in a way, keeps it real with her? Like the only male character that doesn't, not to sound crass, but blow sunshine up her ass all the time the way everyone else does?
I'm not sure if that's the way that I would phrase that.
Okay. So you disagree with what I said?
I might just, I don't know. I have to think about it. Somebody else talk now.
I want to pivot a little bit from the very ending of this movie to what is my favorite sequence in the entire thing. We touched on it a little bit.
Okay.
And that is the party where Jimmy Stewart and Katharine Hepburn are both hammered.
Yes.
Because Jimmy Stewart gives what is, for my money, the best drunk performance any actor has ever given. And I'm not being hyperbolic about this. I genuinely think that I have not seen an actor more convincingly play drunk. Granted, I've never seen Leaving Las Vegas, so, maybe that'll change. But
oh God.
Holy shit, he is so convincing. Like, all of the little vocal tics he has repeating the brother's name at the start of the night when he's starting to get a little buzzed, to, yes, him drunkenly singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. It's like, it is a masterclass in drunk acting. It's so good, and it's so fucking funny.
He jumps in with like such a clever little line at the beginning of the party. He encounters Tracy's mom, who's just like a little concerned about her daughter, I think. And she says like, oh, the course of true love, ... And then he jumps in with gathers no moss. And I was like, that's so clever. That's so
Zach and I talked
funny.
about that.
Oh my God.
And he listens to what he just said. He's like, oh, that was a bad line.
He walks away like shaking his head.
That sounded cooler in my head.
Oh my God, it's great.
Oh man.
Agreed. He is a perfect
great
drunk.
drunk performance.
Also, him picking up the gun in Cary Grant's house. He's just like drunk and like messing with his stuff, and then picks up a gun, and Cary Grant's kind of like, "I'm gonna take that from you, buddy."
I love when he's drunk and Kittredge goes to hit him, but then Cary Grant hits him instead. It's like, thought I'd have to hit you first. After all, Kittredge is in better shape than I am.
Yeah, that bit's so fucking funny.
That was a good little bromance moment. I liked that.
Yeah, I like them as buddies.
Me too.
They've been in other movies together, right?
I hope so, because I'd like to see more of them.
Are they? No, that's Jimmy Stewart and John Wayne. Never mind.
Gross.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other movies with both of them because they are such a fun on-screen pair.
Yeah.
I think they've been in something else before.
So if I'm going to pivot just really quickly, something else that's kind of interesting, little backstory to this picture is something I found really impressive was Jimmy Stewart and Cary Grant, great performances. They steal scenes, absolutely. But at the end of the day, Katharine Hepburn is undeniably the lead of this film.
Are you going to steal my story?
I might. Let's find out. So she had been performing this. Am I stealing the story?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
She had been performing this for like 3.5 years on stage, on Broadway. Because this was a play originally.
Okay.
No.
And what blows my mind is how fresh her performance is, despite that she's been doing this part and these scenes for 3 years of her life. And George Cukor, is that his name?
I think so.
The director is from Broadway. Now, this was a time, 1940, when they were transitioning from the silent movie era to the talkies. And the studio heads had it in their head that silent movie directors don't know how to direct dialogue. So during this transitional phase, they would bring in Broadway directors to direct the talkie bits. That's what they called it, the talkie scenes. It'd be the dialogue directors. And that's why during the 40s there was a big influx of Broadway directors that became filmmakers, and George Cukor was one of them.
Okay.
And they quickly realized, oh, this isn't working. Just give Cukor the whole film. He'll direct the whole thing. And something he told Katharine Hepburn is like, look, you've been doing this for 3 years. You have got to do a completely different Tracy. Do a completely different Tracy that we've never seen before, that you've never done before.
That's got to be so fucking hard.
And it was really hard. But the Tracy that we get in this film apparently is the version that she had never played before for 3 years of her life. And it's fascinating because it seems so perfect.
Totally.
Like, this is how you would want to play it.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of weird. So I'd be interested to see the play.
Let's go.
That actually was not my story.
Oh, well, great. What's the story then that you have?
I have more background on this movie.
Oh, great.
Oh, background.
Okay, so Katharine Hepburn was a very popular star in the early 1930s. And she had like this, I'd say like half a dozen, maybe 6 or 7 movies that were just like total duds, total flops. And she actually, I think it was like 1938 or something like that, where she made like this short list of like box office poison.
Yeah.
So nobody wanted to work
No one
with
wanted
her.
to touch her.
Yeah, and so she had been doing this play, and you know what this badass bitch did?
What did she do?
She bought the rights to the film rights to this play, and she shopped it around as the lead actress for the play so that she could restart her own fucking career. And of course, the studio was like not feeling like super like confident that it was going to do great, so they put Cary Grant and Jimmy Stewart in it as like
There
the
we
A-list
go.
actors. So it's like, so it's like,
Which is the best case scenario.
Well,
yeah,
amazing.
definitely.
I was going to say, Katharine Hepburn, she did have the say on casting, and her original choice was John Wayne and Clark Gable. That was her original choice.
Not a great choice, Catherine.
But then the studio put up Jimmy Stewart and Cary Grant, and
Yeah.
but the
She had
thing
already
is,
worked with
she
Cary
had
Grant.
to sign off on him.
Yeah.
That's the key. She had final say.
So-
So they're in this movie because of her.
So technically, she had worked with Cary Grant back in 1938 on Bringing Up Baby, which is the original defined the screwball comedy romance genre.
She's also in a movie with him called Holiday, I'm pretty sure.
And what year did that come out?
38.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, anyways, Bringing Up Baby didn't do great. It also flopped, but people have come to appreciate it now because it was basically the beginning of the screwball comedy genre. So.
And let's not forget that she was not only labeled box office poison, but she was also labeled as difficult to work with. Because apparently, believe it or not, she would actually like stick up for herself and her
Catherine
opinions.
Hepburn?
I know.
She doesn't seem like she'd be assertive.
This is a woman who fucking wore trousers before they actually became the norm for women to wear trousers.
That's another reason.
She liked to go barefoot, apparently, and you couldn't go barefoot if you were wearing stockings.
I'm fucking scandalized. I'm so fucking scandalized by this.
That's another reason why I think she plays such a great lead and why this film is ahead of itself, because this is a very masculine, feminine performance. It is. Like, the first scene we see Dinah, where she walks in, and she sits on the couch because she's calling Tracy, 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 and then she's reading Spy magazine on the couch, and as she gets up, she swings her leg up in the air over her sister's head and gets down. She's wearing, calling attention to the fact that she's wearing pants. She's wearing trousers. How often do you see a woman just squeeze up, move her leg up over another character, and then just walk up? And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but it's considered unladylike at the time.
I'm fucking scandalized
but she
by
commands the screen.
All of this is so upsetting.
There's
to me,
another movie called, I think it's called Christopher Strong, that she was in. Great film.
Yeah, we all watched that in Dr. Cartier's class.
That's right. I first watched that in that. Anyways, yeah, good
Simon,
film.
For context, Alexis had a huge crush on our film professor, Dr. Michelle Cartier.
What do you mean had?
Yeah, sorry, has.
It's a love that has no expiration date, guys.
Cool.
She's crossed oceans of time to be with Dr. Cartier.
Oceans of time to be with you.
Sorry, I got derailed stuff. You were saying about Christopher Strong.
Yeah, that's another movie where it's a great example of her being very masculine for being a leading lady. And it's very cool. She was at the forefront, which is just so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Directed by a woman?
Yep. I think so, yeah.
That's a Dorothy Arzner film.
Yes.
Arzner?
Slay.
Which was one of the first fucking queer filmmakers.
Slay.
Which is why we watched it in my feminine film theory class. Very cool.
Damn. Yeah. One thing I heard, to add a little bit of detail to Alexis's story too, didn't she help get the rights with Howard Hughes? Howard Hughes was the one who helped get the rights.
Yes, she did, because they were like kind of low-key romantically linked for a bit.
Yeah.
Really?
30s.
We've all seen The Aviator.
I've not seen The Aviator, but I know the story.
I have, but it's a while ago.
It's a good movie.
Who plays Katharine Hepburn in that?
Kate Blanchett.
The great Kate Blanchett.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the reason that the studio decided for not bringing Clark Gable on was because at that point, Hepburn, who sold really low to MGM so she could specifically get veto on producer, director, screenwriter, and cast, was because she'd already directed Cukor, and Cukor was the guy who was laid off of Gone with the Wind because he fought with Clark Gable all the time. So they hated each other. They super hated each other. He did the first half of that movie, and then they replaced him. Yeah.
Okay, that's why. I always knew they brought in a new director. I didn't know why.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Guys.
Super crazy.
Wow.
You know what else George Cukor directed?
What?
Gaslight.
Yes, he did.
What the fuck is that?
That's the movie that coined the term.
Yeah, he's the guy who invented the thing that we love to do to you, Alexis.
Nice.
I have no words.
I would just like to say, I'm trying to get off that train now.
No words.
I'm hopping on it even harder. George Cukor told me to.
Oh my god.
Crazy.
It's okay.
He also directed the first adaptation of Little Women.
Oh, whoa.
The 94 one.
Cool.
Oh no.
Nope.
Like an old
Definitely
one.
not.
That movie, that book came out in the 1800s. I take it back. There had to have been something before the 94.
No, the 33 one.
Good lord.
He was known for strong female lead characters, which was interesting. I ended up reading his whole biography on Wikipedia biography, and he was he constantly repudiated that claim, which was I don't know. Obviously, it wasn't widely considered a great thing in the 40s, but he kind of hated the press for pigeonholing him as that. Mm-hmm. But he did numerous collaborations with Hepburn. He kind of seemed to make it a priority to have a lot of strong female leads in his movies, and he was sort of pigeonholed as
strong
that director.
Women.
I guess so. He just
didn't want to admit it.
Outspokenly say that to the press. Yeah. And the guy who wrote this movie, it was adapted from Philip Barry's play, but Donald Ogden Stewart was blacklisted in 1950, so like 10 years after this movie came out, which was
And I bet Jimmy Stewart was fucking on board with that. You
That
piece
makes
of
me
shit.
so sad.
Yeah, no, I was really bummed to learn that. I learned that like right after I watched It's a Wonderful Life over the holidays with my family. I was like reading up on Jimmy Stewart and I was like, wait a minute.
He's a fake.
He was fucking ratted people out to UAC? What the fuck, Jimmy?
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, I can still like his characters.
Yeah, it's fine. He's dead. It's cool to be a fan. He's dead.
He actually never thought that he should have won the Oscar for this either, which was also interesting. I did think I liked Cary Grant a little bit more than Jimmy Stewart in this, but he was like, he thought Henry Fonda was in Grapes of Wrath the same year, and he thought he should have gotten that. And he felt that this was just like kickback from Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, which he didn't win for. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great film.
Yeah.
I have problems with the Grapes of Wrath.
Never seen it.
Never
It's-
seen it.
Like, broadly a pretty good movie, but it cuts basically like essentially like the climax of the book. Uh-oh, helicopter. They found me. But yeah, no, I don't know. I feel like Grapes of Wrath cuts a lot of what's interesting about the Steinbeck book, which is kind of a bummer for me. That also might be the only John Ford movie I've ever seen. I need to fix that.
I've never seen any of his.
I need to. Maybe we should watch The Searcher soon.
Maybe not. Who knows?
Yeah, you know. So as we were saying about the Philadelphia story,
Can I say one of my favorite parts?
please.
Okay, so you know when like she thinks that she's like slept with Mike, and she's kind of like freaking out, but like doing it very collectedly.
Yeah.
Collective freak out.
And he eventually like comes out and like she's like, oh, so we didn't do anything, and he's like, no, of course not, and she's like, was I so unattractive?
Yeah.
And I was like,
That's her pride
great.
talking right there.
yeah,
Oh,
that
man.
shit
That was a great
was so
bit.
funny. Just her
Yeah.
immediate reaction was like, how dare you not take it?
I know, because she's going from I'm panicking that we did something to then like I'm panicking that you didn't try. What the hell?
And he was like, call me crazy, but you don't fuck with women who are too drunk to do something.
And she was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, she was like, how dare you be so forward thinking?
God, you're so woke, it's disgusting.
Okay. Oh, so speaking of Jimmy Stewart being woke,
Oh God.
this is
Oh, no.
the one other issue that I have with this movie, which is not like it's still a great movie.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I know what you're gonna
Mike's
say.
whole arc is
Yeah.
him losing his class consciousness.
Yeah.
And that blows.
Yeah, because at first he's deeply uncomfortable by the whole socialite gaudy thing.
Yeah, and he's like
Clearly.
cool with Kittredge because he's like a man of the people, which you
Yeah,
know, is
which
he
this
owns a
movie,
line.
I want to go on record. This movie does Kittredge dirty. Like
Yeah.
he's a man who, again, I think this is just a guy who started from nothing. Like he was poor at one point. The movie says that he rose up the ladder, and now he just wants to get married. And everyone's like, "Fuck this guy.
This guy's a piece of shit.
He's a wet noodle."
Okay.
There's always one of
It's
those.
a wet noodle. Okay.
okay, yes,
he
but why
wants
is
this
the-
woman to be well behaved.
Well,
he specifically
I'm not
says
saying
that
he's
at one point.
perfect. I'm just saying that I
Okay,
think the
well,
movie
that
does him
right
dirty.
there,
Well, Cary,
disgusting.
We're introduced
Yeah,
to
the
Cary
Cary
Grant
Grant throws her to the
abusing
floor.
her.
Okay, I'm not saying that I like be all end all wanted her to end up with Cary Grant. I'm just saying that over the course of the movie,
You
it
seem
made
like you're a
sense to
Cary
me.
Grant apologist.
They emasculate Kittredge in the beginning when he tries getting on his horse, which is a good visual comparison of like, he's not going to end up with Katharine Hepburn. He can't even get up on
He
his own
can't ride
horse.
that stallion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
no.
again, I stand by then. That's why I kind of really wanted everyone to end up
Okay,
being single
this
at
is,
the end.
This is gonna sound really, really bad. but-
Great. That's never stopped you before.
Well, let's fucking power right through
Here we
it, buddy.
go.
But when I saw him not get up on that horse, I was like, this man not man enough to handle this woman. Not at all.
Well, the fucked up thing
Are
is,
you
I mean, you're
man
right.
enough?
He can't even mount a horse.
Yeah.
You can't expect him to mount something. All right.
We've all done like the same version of that joke now, so I feel like we can retire it. Simon, do you want in on that?
Yeah, Simon, I
I'm
think it's
good.
his turn.
I'm watching from afar.
I'm not touching that one.
Okay, wait, but I did agree with Tracy when she told Mike that you're the worst kind of snob, the intellectual kind. The time to make up your mind about people is never.
Unless they're rich, fuck them.
I like that family. I could be friends with them.
No, to tear them out of their home.
They eradicated my class consciousness in
I
one
would-
movie.
no.
I gotta
What's
say,
happening?
Uncle Willie gives me the willies. I don't like
Uncle Willie's a
Willie.
fucking creep.
Uncle Billy
He's a
was so
creepy creature.
creepy. Oh my
He's
god.
so creepy.
And who's gonna ride home in my tiny little car?
Yeah, no, who's
So gross.
Yeah, his delivery of "Who's going to ride with me in my little car?" like
Okay.
sent chills down my spine.
Wait,
Yeah.
but also, I thought that the father was kind of fucking disgusting too.
Yeah, he is.
Because
Oh, for
at one
sure.
point he told her a devoted young woman
Yeah.
gives him the illusion of youth, and he was talking about his daughter, and I was all,
Yeah, it's
the
creepy.
fuck
You're being
she
creepy.
does. Yeah, I was pissed.
Did you say that out loud while you were on the couch?
Yeah.
I bet you did. I bet you did.
He does.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, another
Yeah.
fun fact about the like background of the movie though was Tracy was based on a real person, Helen Hope
Yeah, she actually
Montgomery Scott, who is another Philadelphia socialite, and they wanted to shoot the movie at her estate. It was
Oh,
called Ardrossan, but they decided against it after seeing how absolutely enormous and expansive it was, and the producers reportedly told the filmmakers that no one would actually believe that someone would live like that, particularly in America in the 1940s. So they
Shut
chose
up.
they
Wow.
chose a specifically like quainter estate just to make it more believable for the 40s. Which
Yeah.
is
To the
so
common man.
funny.
Yeah.
There's no way they're gonna
Oh, they
relate
duped
to this.
me.
To everyone who fucking lived through the Great Depression.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
I love that line that Liz has when they walk into the south parlor room, and she says, "Don't you know you'd have to be as rich as the Lords to live in a dump like this?" I love that line.
It's so great.
Man, yeah.
I liked this film overall. I give it maybe 4 stars. Around there.
It's a very fun movie.
Yeah.
I
I think the story overall is, I'll say, I think somewhat unremarkable just because it's kind of basic, but that's okay because the chemistry, the acting, I think the script is so ahead of its time that, again, I watched it for the 3rd time and I'm very entertained by it.
Yeah, it's, as Simon was saying, it has a lot of different types of comedy, including one of my favorite types of comedy that shows up in The Mask of Zorro, horse comedy. Gotta have some horse comedy.
Great. Yeah, that's a
Love
specific
horse
type
comedy.
of
Nice.
comedy.
So
It's,
specific.
when it shows up, I'm always delighted.
That's what Zach is here for, to give us those
The horse
tasty little
comedy.
tidbits.
Thank you for delineating
He's got
that.
tasty tidbits and she has hot takes.
I sure
You
do.
guys came in with the context. I'm just here to fucking hang out, man.
I know we all had like great little like story sidebars
Yeah.
about the history of this movie.
It's almost like we
It's
did our
fascinating.
research.
I watched it.
Yeah. Cool. Well, do any of us have anything else we'd like to share on this wonderful
Simon, do you have-
romantic film?
Do you have any final takeaways?
I loved this movie. It was 4.5 stars for me, and it was really fun talking about it because I do truly think that every qualm that was mentioned here, broadcast news fixes. So go watch broadcast
Oh,
news.
hell
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Slaps.
God.
I'm convinced now.
I know a good plug when I see one, and that was a good plug.
Good
It's great.
job.
Yeah, so
I would
definitely
have
watch
thought
it.
you were.
Okay, Simon, do you have anything you want to promote? Anything of yours that you'd like to make the people aware of?
a host of the show.
I haven't done the toss-up in a minute. Honestly, y'all's episode might be the last one that I did.
No, there's another one after us, I think.
Is it? Yeah,
What?
okay, it's been a heck
I
of
was looking at
a
the
semester,
feed.
but I'll get back to it soon. I'm a little under the weather at the moment, but soon I'll get back to it. I don't know what to plug beyond that. It's called The Toss-Up. It's on Spotify.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to start using Anchor to put it everywhere soon. That's pretty much it, I guess. Watch Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Riveting.
I'm rooting for it to win a bunch of Oscars. So
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I'm behind you, my boy.
it's so
I'm
good.
Team Fablemans, but
It's
I
so
won't be mad.
delightful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah.
I'm a big Fable head.
Oh.
I'm negative Fable.
Another one, Cinema Sticks. I work for the guy who makes Cinema Sticks, which is a YouTube
What is
video
that?
essay channel.
Oh, okay.
He's a really good editor. He's bringing back the sort of video essay style of Everything Everywhere, or not Everything Everywhere. Every Film and Painting, which
Oh, I missed
we
that
adore.
show so much, or
Yeah.
channel, I should say.
It's great.
Good for him.
Yeah, I've loved working for him. 4 of my essays are on his channel now.
Great.
Hopefully with a new one to come in the next couple months. So check them out.
sweet.
God. Look
Cinema
at you,
sticks.
content creator.
Well,
My
so-
God.
Bada
Love
bing,
that.
bada boom.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on.
It's
been a
Everybody
pleasure.
Check out Simon's project.
Yeah, Simon, this was great,
Yeah,
man. We're
this
glad
is
to have you.
Great. Y'all
And,
are very welcoming.
Well, we appreciate you coming on.
Yes.
If you want to find us on social media, you can find us at Filmmakers Pod on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And if you want to shoot us an email, tell us if you want us to bring a guest on or something. I don't know.
This was actually really nice.
Yeah,
They
I
were
like
like
this.
he was like the perfect buffer finally for
Yeah,
me between you
I
guys.
hate to say it, but whoever is our next guest, man, they've got big shoes to fill.
They sure
Thanks.
do.
Simon.
Simon,
Flattered.
you did a
Yeah.
good job, buddy.
Well, if you have a suggestion, filmmakerspod@gmail.com. Shoot us an email.
Love it. Cool.
Alrighty.
And then before we wrap things up, just really quickly, are we covering a movie next week?
Oh, thank you,
Do we know
Vic.
what that is?
Yeah,
Do we
think
know what movie
do.
it's going to be?
We do know what that movie is going to be.
What is it going to be?
It is going to be Sex, Lies, and Videotape
Oh, yeah.
with Andy McDowell and
Directed by Steven Soderbergh.
James Spader, my boy.
We love James Spader.
Horny
Like-
little freak.
Horny
Love.
little freak.
Like in
is
all
right.
capital cursive love.
Alrighty, and if you want to find that movie, I'm gonna look up where it is.
It's
and-
on our Blu-ray shelf, Zach.
Yeah,
We have it on disc.
yeah, we have it on disc, but if
And
you don't
I-
have an extensive physical media collection, you can. Oof, I guess you can buy it online for $13.
You can definitely,
worth it.
I
It's a
think you
good
can
film.
rent it maybe
Yeah,
on
you can rent
Amazon.
No, you can't.
And I know my
Oh.
mother listens to this podcast, and I just want to let you know in advance, Mother, I am going to be talking up James Spader. I'm so sorry. My mother does not like James Spader. For those who
I'm a
don't know.
James Spader apologist, and I don't even.
What do
need
you got
be
to
an
apologize
apologist.
for? He's great.
Love that man.
More like a James Spader champion, right? We love him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, thanks so much, everyone, and we're gonna go ahead and stop recording now.
All right. Bye, folks. See you next week. Bye, Simon.